Welcome to Rock Your Block and today's segment of Cooking with Chef Lynnette. I'm your host, Lynnette Jackson of Lynnette's Cakes and Catering, and we have a fantastic show for you today. Today, I am joined by a very special guest. At any given moment, you may see him out and about in our delivery van, in the kitchen, baking, or inspiring our staff with great ideas. My special guest today is my business partner and fiancé, Gregory McCottrell. Please help me welcome Gregory to our Rock Your Block set. Welcome, Gregory. So today, we have some really fun and easy recipes that we're going to make for a fabulous brunch.
Yes.
And the first thing that we're going to start with is a baked French toast. So I'm going to grab the ingredients and then we'll get to going. You ready?
Yes.
Alrighty, so let me grab this loaf of French bread. Now I have some that I've already sliced a little bit. The important thing to realize about this is that you want to get bread that you've had for maybe 1 or 2 days. I know it sounds crazy, but you want your bread to be a little bit crispy. That's going to help when it starts to absorb the custard that we're going to make so that it won't get too soggy. You don't want that. You want perfectly fluffy French toast. So the first thing I'm going to do is start slicing the bread, and Gregory's going to talk us through the custard and also buttering our baking dish.
Yes, so we have a baking dish, 9 by 13.
Yep.
I'm gonna butter the baking dish.
And you just want to get unsalted butter that's a little bit softened. You can let it sit out for maybe an hour or two just to make sure it's soft enough to evenly spread. If you're against using butter, which I don't know why anybody would be, you can use cooking spray, and that will work just as good. So he's going to make sure he butters, especially those little crevices. You want to make sure that when it's time to cut it and take it out the pan, nothing gets stuck. You want to eat all that goodness, and your guests do too. So I'm just going to cut about maybe half of this. Yeah, make sure you get that corner.
Yes.
And when he finishes, I'm going to show you how I put the bread into the pan. I'm going to slice it first, and then I'm going to tear it into rather large chunks. Some people actually like to leave it sliced because you can kind of shingle it in the pan and it looks like little pieces of toast in the pan. I prefer to kind of tear it up a little bit. Make sure the custard seeps way down into it. The fun thing about this recipe is that you can actually prepare it the day before and then wrap it up and put it into your refrigerator. And then when your guests are on their way, you just pop it in the oven for about 35 minutes and then it's ready to go. So I think this should be enough along with what I have here. You got the pan ready for me?
Yes, I do have the pan ready, and I'm going to get prepared to make the custard.
I'll take that pan.
You take the pan?
Yep.
All right.
So this is how the pan looks. Buttered all the way around. Butter, 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 nothing wrong with that. I'm going to start with some that I already had sliced up earlier. And like I said, you want bread to be maybe a day or two old. Something that you have left over, something somebody gave you, just go ahead and use it. I've actually seen people use sourdough bread. I've seen some use honey buns. You know, things that are a little bit sweet. The whisk is right there. Okay. And if you were to do something like that, you would just decrease your sugar. You want to talk about that?
Okay, so the custard, what we have heavy cream, milk, sugar, eggs, cinnamon, and vanilla. Mm-hmm. So we're going to start with the milk and the cream.
And that's about 1.5 cups of heavy cream. About 1 cup of milk. I like the mixture of the heavy cream and the milk. Heavy cream is just so rich and full of flavor. Having those two together, you really, really, really get a nice custard for your French toast. So you want to add your eggs in?
Yeah, I'm going to add the eggs for this.
All right. So he has 8 eggs.
We have 8 eggs, and we're going to crack the eggs.
Right into the bowl.
Right into the bowl.
And then what else do you have?
And we have sugar.
Yep. About a cup of sugar.
A cup of sugar, yeah.
Mm-hmm. 2 tablespoons of vanilla.
And a pinch of cinnamon.
Cinnamon, yeah. As soon as he gets that whisked up, we're going to pour that right over top of this bread. And like I said, if you wanted to do it the day before, you could, and just wrap it really tight, put it in the refrigerator. And then the next morning or right before your guests are on their way, just pop it right in the oven. It's really, really good. And it's kind of nice because it's something that you can get done early. Everyone wants to be on time to their own party, so it's always good to do as much prep as possible the day prior to your event. So I'm going to leave that right there, ready for Gregory. While he's doing that, I'm going to go ahead and start on the topping for this baked French toast. On top of the French toast, we're going to put a little bit of flour, a little bit of brown sugar, that goes in next. And then a mixture of cinnamon, about a half teaspoon of salt, and a pinch of nutmeg. It's sounding very delicious already, so I'm excited.
So I'm going to whip the eggs in the heavy cream, or beat it in, I should say, with the whisk. I probably should have added the eggs first. Would have made it easier.
To whisk it up?
To whisk it.
Definitely. Once those eggs are suspended in liquid, it's kind of hard to break them up sometimes. So,
Yes.
in a lot of recipes, you'll see that it calls for the eggs to be first, and then you kind of break them up a little bit before you add your other ingredients.
And I think I have it all beaten, the eggs all beaten now, so I'm going to add the sugar.
It smells good already. I smell the cinnamon, the nutmeg. It smells so delicious.
We're going to add the sugar, whisk that in a little bit.
How's it coming?
It's coming along. And we're going to add vanilla,
2 tablespoons.
the 2 tablespoons of vanilla.
I'm going to grab a pair of gloves.
Okay. And last but not least, a pinch of cinnamon.
Cinnamon. It's made in the same way you would make French toast that you would cook on top of the stove. It's pretty much the same idea. The only difference is that you're just, instead of dipping each piece and frying them in butter, you're just baking in the oven. Same
I just want to make sure that it's evenly incorporated.
Looks
Everything
really
is
good.
incorporated evenly.
Yep, looks really good.
Okay, so I'm gonna put this here. So
You
can
gonna
I go
pour it
ahead?
over?
I'm gonna go ahead and pour the custard over the bread.
And the biggest thing is you want to make sure all of that bread gets covered, for the most part, in the custard.
Yes.
And it's going to soak it right up pretty much as soon as you pour it over. And you see Gregory's taking a lot of care to make sure he gets into all those little corners.
Crevices.
Yes, definitely. Every piece of bread needs the custard.
Yes.
That's what makes it so delicious.
Without making a mistake and wasting the egg batter.
It's okay. If you waste a little bit, it's okay.
Okay.
That looks really, really good.
Here we go. We have it covered.
Yep, and you see it perfectly covers that amount of bread. So I think that was about maybe a little bit more than a half a loaf because I used some that I had already sliced a little bit earlier today. So I have my mixture here. I use a pastry blender, and this is basically a little tool that we use in the kitchen. It helps to cut your butter into your dry ingredients, but use it when making biscuits and anything like that. If you don't have this fancy tool, you can always use a fork. It's just the same thing, but I just like that. It makes it a little bit easier. You can also use a food processor, which makes it even easier. What you want to do is just make sure your butter is cold before you put it in. So it's kind of like a crumbly mess,
so good.
but it smells delicious.
It smells really good.
Anything with butter and cinnamon and sugar is good. I'm going to press this down just a little bit to make sure all that bread is inside of that custard. And you can see it's starting to soak it up already. I wish you all could smell what we are cooking. It smells so good. So I have a...
Do we need
There we
another
go.
glove?
That's okay. Just going to
Okay.
sprinkle this. So you want to just try to evenly distribute this over top of your pan. And this is going to melt down and kind of spread over top of our French toast. And it's going to form a nice little crusty layer on top that's crusty and buttery and cinnamony and sugary and just
Goodness.
so delicious. Yeah. All of the things that are synonymous with delicious. Okay. So let's pop that in the oven.
You want me to do down there?
Yes, please.
Okay.
I sure do.
So we're gonna put the French toast in the oven. Looks like we have something already cooking there.
You can pull it
Move
out.
it out. Okay.
And the French toast is going to cook for about 35 minutes in the oven. It'll puff up a little bit and then it'll kind of deflate a little bit. And later on, we're going to top them with these delicious berries. We have raspberries, blackberries, and strawberries, which are going to be really, really, really good. Alrighty, so Gregory's popping that in the oven. And then we're going to move on to our Quiche Lorraine that we're going to make with bacon.
Okay.
Perfect.
It's in the oven.
You ready?
Yes.
So the next recipe is going to be a simple quiche Lorraine. What I love about quiche is that you can pretty much use what you have. We're going to make a quiche Lorraine with bacon and onion and Swiss cheese, but in the farmer's market season, we get a lot of fresh vegetables.
Yes.
We can always put broccoli and tomatoes and roasted asparagus, or you can do crab or shrimp or whatever you like in your quiche. So let me grab the ingredients and then we're going to get working on it.
Okay.
As you can see, everything is coming together fairly quickly. It's not hard at all.
Okay.
You can be a rock star in the kitchen in 30 minutes or less, which I love.
We have a separate bowl for the
Yes, we do. I'll grab it for you. Right. So Gregory is going to work with this crust first. This is a store-bought crust. You can always make your own. Gregory makes fabulous crust in the kitchen for the pies that we make every week. But we're going to use a store-bought crust here. This is a 9-inch crust deep dish, all right? So the first thing, you want to tell them how to prep the crust?
Yes, what we're going to do with the crust, we're going to poke holes in the crust so that the quiche can cook in the crust. So, do you have a fork here?
You can use that knife.
Knife, okay.
Yep.
All right.
And want to bring it to the center?
Yeah.
The reason we do this is to keep the crust from puffing up when it's in the oven. The layers of butter mixed with the flour and the coldness create steam that makes your crust kind of puff up. So we want to make sure it doesn't puff too much before we add our filling to it.
And we're also going to par bake it for about, what'd you say, 5 minutes?
About 5 to 10 minutes. What you don't want to do is let it get too brown. If it gets too brown, it'll taste kind of burnt, and we definitely don't want that.
We actually can't put it in the oven right now.
You can put it in.
Okay.
Yep.
Right.
And I have one that I did earlier for you, just to make sure that we had one ready to go. So this one is brown, and you can see just about how much. This was 10 minutes in the oven. It worked perfectly. I'm going to grab some gloves. I'm going to show you something quickly before we move to the next thing. Now for this, like I said, you need bacon, onions, and Swiss cheese, and we're going to make another custard. I have some bacon here that we're going to use for it. And I'm just going to lay it on my baking sheet that I've covered in parchment paper, bake it in the oven for about 20 minutes, and then it'll be good to go. Gregory's going to start working on the custard for the quiche. I'll grab your bowl.
Yes. Can we switch this?
We'll switch.
Yeah.
There you are. That's
Thank you so much.
Of course, anytime.
Okay, so I got the eggs, I have the cream and the milk, and I should have some spices. Where are my spices?
Do you see them over there?
Not for the quiche.
Okay, we'll find them during the break. Go ahead and mix the custard first.
All right, we're going to mix the custard. Same process, but this time I'm going to do the eggs first.
Yes.
I'm not going to make that mistake again.
Make it a little bit easy on yourself.
Yes, I'm going to beat the eggs first this time instead of pouring the cream and the milk in.
You want to move your bowl here so I can see?
Is it okay?
Yep, there you go.
Okay. All right, so we're going to crack the eggs. Can I put that there?
Yep, sure can.
Okay.
So we have 4 eggs for the quiche. And then we have cream and milk again. So Gregory's going to get those in the bowl. And the little package of seasoning that we were talking about is about a half a teaspoon of salt and a pinch of nutmeg and a pinch of cayenne pepper, just for a little bit of heat. If you don't want cayenne pepper, you can use white pepper instead of black pepper. The black pepper leaves specks that we don't like. So you would use white pepper. So what we're going to do, I'm going to finish putting this on the tray. Gregory's going to finish mixing up the custard, and when we come back from the break, we're going to show you how to assemble the quiche. We're going to make fruit skewers and non-alcoholic mimosas.
Don't let E. coli mosh with your food. An estimated 3,000 Americans die from a foodborne illness each year. You can't see these microbes, but they might be there. So always separate raw meat from vegetables. Keep your family safe at foodsafety.gov.
Welcome back to our kitchen. Gregory, our very special guest, has joined us today. We're preparing brunch recipes that are just as easy as they are delicious. Yes. So before the break, we were talking about our quiche and we were getting the custard together. So now we're going to actually assemble the quiche. Show you how to do it. Yes. So Gregory has the custard ready to go. I got some bacon ready for you. I took the liberty of doing it a little bit earlier so you can see what it looks like when it comes out of the oven. So this is what it's going to look like. You will not use all of the bacon, so you can use the rest for snacking, or you can put it on your buffet for your, your fabulous brunch. So I'm going to move it off of this paper. Just want you here for a quick second. And then I'm just going to dot it with a paper towel just to get some of the oil off of the bacon. You don't want to have too much on there. Just going to go like this. Then, like I said, whatever's left you can snack on or put on your buffet line or make a BLT or whatever you want to do. So, got most of the oil off. So I'm going to use a pair of gloves, and I'm going to break about maybe 9 slices of this bacon into the bottom of this shell right here. Okay. And Gregory, if you could just pass me. Actually, we don't have one. Never mind.
You don't have it? Okay.
Yeah, actually, it's right here. This is what I was looking for. I'm going to transfer this to a baking sheet because when you put the custard in there, sometimes it's a lot of liquid and you don't want to spill all into your oven or on your clothes or on your floor or anything like that. So let's take this bacon and we're just going to break it up. There's no rhyme or reason to it. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be there to make it super delicious.
It smells good.
It does smell good. I love brunch. I really, really do. And we know what your favorite breakfast and brunch is. You want to tell everybody what it is?
Yes, I love salmon cake and grits.
That's right. And homemade buttermilk biscuits.
And homemade buttermilk
that's
biscuits.
his favorite.
Yes.
So sometimes in the kitchen, that's exactly what we make.
Yes.
So we just have an onion here that we just did a small dice, little pieces. That's about 1/3 cup. And then 1 cup of shredded Swiss cheese goes into the bottom here. All right. If you wanted to use another kind of cheese, feel free. It's whatever you like. I was saying before that quiche is very versatile. As long as you have your custard, you can add other ingredients. Sometimes I love to use like garden vegetables or spinach and bacon, tomatoes.
Spinach.
Oh my God, it's so good. Or
Mushrooms.
I like crab. Yes, mushrooms. Definitely love mushrooms. So Gregory is going to go ahead and pour that custard into that shell.
Custard.
And want to make sure we get it all down in there. Looks very, very, very good. That little bit of nutmeg that we put in there is going to be that little secret ingredient. You know how you taste recipes sometimes and you're like, what did you put in here? It's something that I just can't put my finger on. That's what it's going to do.
Oh, we do that a lot.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Okay.
And a little bit more. That's good.
Okay.
So then I like to take either my whisk that we use or my tongs and just kind of push that custard down in there. Because we have that layer of bacon in the bottom, we want to make sure that every piece
It's incorporated.
Definitely want that custard to get all down in there. And even when you have like a layer of like spinach or something in the bottom, it's even more difficult to get that custard down in there. So you really want to make sure you do your due diligence. Everybody wants a piece of everything in every bite, so that's our goal. All right, so you want to pop that in the oven?
Sure.
And we're going to give that about 30 minutes also. Just be careful. You want to make sure that your crust doesn't get too brown around the outside. If you want a little trick, you can always put a little piece of foil around the outside just to keep the crust from actually browning.
Okay, let's put this guy.
Let's move this out the way. You have space in there?
Cut some little things.
Put it right on top.
All right.
You got it?
Yep. There we go.
Quiche is in the oven. We're almost there. You got it?
Yep. There
Perfect.
we go.
So we're going to
Not
move
familiar
on.
with the oven.
Okay. We're going to move on now to our fruit skewers. We use these at lots of different parties and events. It's a kind of fun way to display your fruit. So let me get rid of these dirty dishes. And I'm going to grab the fruit.
I think I better put
And Gregory, here are the skewers.
Okie dokie.
And I'm going to grab the fruit. We're going to use 4 different fruits. We're going to use pineapple, cantaloupe, strawberries, and grapes. Those seem to look really, really nice on a skewer, but you can always interchange them. Whatever is fresh and in season, you can use that. Whatever you like better, you can use that. It's totally up to you, okay? So here's our fruit.
Okay.
And I've already cut everything up and have it ready to go.
Here.
I was saying before that you can always make your French toast the day before. The same is with the fruit skewers. You can either prepare them totally the day before, or you can, like I did, you want to cut your fruit up the day before. The whole idea is to make the day of your event as easy as possible. You want to make sure everything is ready to go. So we're going to grab some skewers.
Can you please pass me one more?
Yep.
Thank you.
There you go.
All right.
One for you, one for me. So we have 6-inch bamboo skewers here. You can make them longer if you like, or you can get more decorative ones if you like. It's totally up to you. I'm going to give you a few. Maybe we'll make about 3 each.
Yeah.
Now, one thing that I like to do when I make these, I like to make every skewer the same. I don't like to mix up the order of the fruit. So I want to make sure whatever we do, they all look
the same.
uniform. Yeah,
Right.
I'm really big on that. So we're going to take the strawberry first. Stick our skewer right through the top. And you want to go just to about there, maybe leave about a 1/2 inch left. You want to make sure that your guests can easily pick them up off of whatever platter that you're going to serve them on.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's go ahead. You can grab a strawberry.
Okay.
So Gregory, you want to tell them how we met each other?
Yes, we met each other at a farmer's market. Actually, it was, which market was it? It was the
Brooklyn
Station
DC.
Market in DC. And what happened when when you walked on the
Let me
lawn
tell
and
the
saw me
story
at
the
the
way it really happened. I was the cupcake baker of the market. And one year, I guess I didn't come back to the market, and Gregory went and talked to me about the market. He didn't know that I was there. So one day I pull up, I decide to come back and make my grand entrance, and Gregory is in my space, the nerve of him. So the first thing I said was, who is this in my space? And then when I got out the car, I said, hi, how are you? A little bit snooty.
I was actually happy to see you.
Yeah. And
There were a lot of customers.
eventually, if Gregory wasn't at the market, I started calling him and saying, are you coming to the market today? Where are you? Then I started looking for him. Even though the first day, I wanted him to go away. So it's kind of a funny story. And we always tell it and laugh.
What was that, about, what, 6-7 years ago?
Yeah, about
now?
6-7 years ago, yeah.
Yeah.
So you can see how pretty these are looking already. And they're just fruit on a bamboo skewer. It's not even anything too difficult, but it's a fun way to display your fruit. And it's a good way, because we're also caterers, to do portion control.
Yes.
To make sure you know
Exactly.
exactly how many of each item that you have for the people that are coming to your events. So sometimes we'll add watermelon, especially when it's in season.
Yes.
I like that one market we go to that has the yellow watermelon.
Oh, yes.
Oh, it's so
That's
good and it's so
UDC's.
pretty. Yes, it's
Yeah.
so good and it's so pretty.
Let me put
You
this
can have
here.
the last strawberry.
Okay.
The last one is for you.
See, you're an expert at this.
You do
You
this
move a little
all
bit
the time.
faster than I do.
Yep.
Okay.
So once he gets that on there, there you go. Got it?
Yep.
So what I'm going to do, one of the things that I like to use on our platters is a little garnish. You have a knife in there?
Yes, we do.
Right here.
We do have a knife.
An orange that we use for garnish. So what I do, it's very simple.
Here.
I cut a zigzag like this, all the way around the orange. Just make triangles. You just go all the way around, just roll it on the table. It's very simple. And you can do it with any citrus. If you have a lemon or a lime, oranges just taste better when you eat them by themselves. And that last piece, just finish off the zigzag.
Yes,
Voila.
magic.
It's magic. You just put on your tray like that, and then maybe take one more of your grapes,
And put
just stick it
in
right in the
center.
center. Yep, you can go ahead. Or you know what? Let's use this, a blackberry.
Oh, yes.
That's even
That looks
prettier.
good.
There you go. All done. Voila.
Good.
So let's move that to the side.
Okay.
And we're gonna go ahead and check on our quiche and our baked French toast
French
that's in the oven.
Okay, and I'll do the honors.
So it should be ready by now. It's been in there for a little bit of time, the magic of television. And we're gonna take it out and then show you how we slice it and just put it on a plate for your guests. If you're
Start off
setting
with
up,
the French toast.
sure, yep.
Yeah.
If you're setting up a buffet, you can always leave it in the dish that you baked it in, and then just serve it that way. Let your guests kind of come up with a spatula, and just pick it up and get their slice out of there. You got it?
Yes, I do.
It's looking good and it's smelling really, really, really delicious. It's a coming. There you go. Perfect.
A little bit different from our oven.
Yeah. And you're so tall.
We have a convection oven
Yep.
at the kitchen in
So-
Annandale.
Yep. So here is our baked French toast. You can see that nice topping that we put on top of it. It's crumbled over top. It melted down. It's nice and crispy, and it smells so, so, so good. Alrighty. So what I'm going to do, like I was saying before, you can either serve it like this, or, and if you were going to serve it like this, I would actually take some of these berries and maybe just kind of sprinkle them over top, just to give it a little bit of pizzazz. I guess I could have broke them up a little bit.
Looks good.
And then maybe a couple dollops of whipped cream or something like that.
I'm gonna spread them out a
Yep,
little
just
bit.
spread out a little bit. And then I'm gonna grab a plate. And we're gonna put one
Some nice
slice.
colors.
Yeah, definitely.
Looks good.
That's the beauty of this time of year. You always have fun colors and things that you can play with. Looks really good. So let me just grab a spatula. We'll use this one right here. I'm just gonna dig right in. It smells so good.
Looks good too.
Yes, the first piece is always going to be difficult to get out, so keep in mind that. Want to put it right on your plate.
Add some more berries to it.
Yep, we will. Let's maybe serve it. And you want to grab the quiche while I do this?
Sure. Okay, get the quiche.
We're going to grab a second piece. Really, you know, I like to serve things, I guess you would say family style, so that everyone can kind of share in one plate. And some of the juice from the raspberries is kind of getting onto it too. Another thing you can do is serve warm maple syrup with it. If you want a little pizzazz to your maple syrup, you can always add like a cinnamon stick to it.
Yes.
Or something like that while you're heating it up.
Wow, that looks good.
Your French toast is ready to go. So let's move this to the side. You want to cut a piece of quiche roll?
Sure.
So you can just use that knife, and I'm going to grab the things for the mimosas.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to cut a nice little piece here. A big piece.
That'll be your piece. Gotta grab my glasses.
Yes. I want to make sure I get all of it. Okay.
And let's maybe just, you don't have to actually pull it out.
Okay,
We'll just put it up there like that. But it's good to get that first piece ready to go so that your first guest can, you know, enjoy. Last but not least, we're going to make some non-alcoholic mimosas. So all the kids can enjoy it just like the adults.
Without the alcohol.
Exactly. We have some sparkling white grape juice here. I'm gonna add in our orange juice. And we have a fabulous brunch. Thank you so much, Gregory, for joining us today. Thank you all so much for watching Rock Your Block and today's segment of Cooking with Chef Lynette. Our time is up, and we have enjoyed being invited to your home or place of business. I'm so glad that Gregory joined me today. You have to come back again.
Yes, I will.
And I hope
back.
you at home will try our recipes during your next brunch. I look forward to returning to another culinary segment right here on Rock Your Block. Thank you so much. Goodbye.
Goodbye.